You guys ready to finish this Chevelle today? Me too. Alright, you saw during the week I made my vertical bank of cooling fan relays. I grabbed my riv nuts that I need for securing, not these relays, because these are going right to the radiator, the end plate on it, but the relays that are on the heater box. One thing I did forget was my drill bits. So I'm going to be using the drill bits here, which are not as nice as my machined units. But first thing, I also got the 6AN union for this return line here. So I'm going to do that. We're going to start laying out how I'm going to do the vacuum lines I need to do. For the most part, it's pretty simple. This front one for the PCV valve, I have to put a NTP port in there. I got to find one. Other than that, it's just going to be a bunch of wiring. Doing the fan relays, I got to take this one out. This one's riveted in. And yeah, no, we're not riveting anything in. And go from there. And then eventually I've got to pull that gas pedal off and figure out the issue with the throw on it. I'm hoping, I can't find anything on it. It's a Jegs universal gas pedal and cable assembly. And what's happening is when you put it all the way to the floor, it's only giving you about 60% throw on the lever. There is no instructions out there for it. I was trying to look up to see, is the lever splined on the shaft, so could I rotate that and get my full throw out of it? But there's nothing anywhere. There is a couple of guys that say they wish there was instructions because it would have been much easier to adjust the pedal. So I'm thinking that's what we're running into here. So the only thing that sucks about that is it bolts through the floor. So I've got to, hopefully I can get the nuts off the bottom without the top bolt spinning, because there's no way I can get top and bottom at the same time to hold that. So let me change that. I'm having a brain fart. Let me change that union, that flare I have. So we got that to go in there. And then I'm going to remove what I need to remove to put this stuff on, and then we'll just go from there. All right, that relay's gone. Now, what I'm going to do here is put you down, first of all. I'm going to measure my distances where I have this bolted up. So I bolted this, or screwed it in exactly the distances I wanted them away, and did my wires accordingly. So I'm just going to measure these and then drill my holes for these the same, mimic them over on that radiator support. Then we'll mount these things up there, and I'll start doing some wiring. All right, the union is done. I had to redo the front side of this AN fitting because that AN fitting would not come off of this pipe. It was on there, or this tube, so I had to cut it and redo the whole thing. Riv nuts are in, and those are mounted. The fan relays, can you see them down there? No, my big head's blocking the light. There we go. The fan relays are all mounted. I'm going to start running stuff now. If you remember from last time, I was super not happy about the fact that somebody used just open to the element connectors on this, which goes over and feeds your main inside stuff off your, what is this thing? There we go, your regulator, buzzer, yada yada, and goes inside and feeds the main fuse block. So I'm going to correct that stuff. Then I'm going to start wiring up the fans. I found my last, I didn't find it, I found another one off of another motor. So we are all fully bolted down on this now. I got my booster hose hooked up. I have my transmission accumulator thingamajiggy hooked up, so now we can actually shift. We're gonna fully put on this kickdown cable, because if you remember, the kickdown cable is 100% good and adjusted correctly. But right now I'm going to work on actually my coil connection for that white trigger wire, and my 12 volt switched ignition that's going to power all that stuff, the Sniper, and my fans. All right, so I'm partway through getting my fan wiring all done. I'm about to pull this off and fix all that, but I figured you guys might want to see the El Camino. The 69 El Camino is finally all done, ready to go. Everything has been wire loomed now. The handheld is sitting here until we figure out whether or not the customer wants it mounted inside. But everything's good to go. They're all wired. You can see I got my fan relays down there on this one. We decided, or I decided, down there was the best place to mount the coil. Keep it out of the way and away from pretty much everything. It's not going to be an issue with heat over there either, because it's got plenty of airflow coming in. But interior is all 100% back together. We've got all gauges. Just got to set the clock. Clock's not right. Starts like a dream. Sounds pretty good. Should. It's a big block. Got beautiful AC going on. But yeah, this one's a wrap. It's been a couple months. It's basically an engine refresh. What's the word I'm looking for? Visually, we didn't rebuild the engine itself. It didn't need it. Just needed to be cleaned up, painted. Valve covers, intake was cleaned up and Cerakoted, the whole 9 yards. But there she is, ready to go back to the customer finally. I believe the 3100 Chevy is all ready to go too. Sorry, Ford. I kept calling it a Chevy because it's got a Chevy engine in it. But the old Ford's ready to go, the F100, sorry, not 3100. They got the axles back and put those in sometime during the week. Rear end's all set, transmission's all set. It's got a nice lockup switch in it now, so it doesn't burn out the torque converter. I only gave you a quick view of inside this one. I mean, this one's pretty nice. Not bad, not bad at all. Nice seat, actually, really nice seat. The interior is decently done, pretty clean. It's nothing but a stock Vortec engine and small block Chevy and 700 R4. It's I believe it's like the 85, 86 center bolt valve cover style engine. But yeah, this week Noah should be spraying sunshine finally, and then we'll be going to town on that. Welcome back. So it's been somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours. Relays, everything's wired on the fan side except for the wires that go to the actual fans. Those I gotta put this up in the air to do because they're all underneath. Don't mind my absolute mess of tools here. But my relay bank back here is done. So this is the fuse and the relay that's part of the Holly harness. This is a third relay that Holly wanted me to add to put our 12 volt switched ignition on a fuse. So my 12 volt switched ignition is actually not powering anything now. It's actuating this fuse that's case grounded up here to the body, and power is coming from the same source that the Holly gets its power from. They wanted me to do that. I don't think it matters for anything. They're thinking I was having a noise issue and that's what was roasting the other ones, but as you saw in the last video, I hardwired these things just to get it to work, to make sure everything was working the exact way they were before. So that was not the issue. I still am confused at what the issue was. Also, something that sucks. I was leaning over here doing something, broke my stupid, I don't know where I put it now. Where is it? Oh, my check valve for the booster. You know, if it's not one thing, it's another. And then pulling this one out to see if I had another one around here to replace. I found the O-ring, or the grommet, is torn. So I've got to search around. If we don't have one here, I'll have them pick one up during the week. And until then, I will just block that vacuum port off as I do everything else, because that's all done. I think I wire my fans, we can start this up and let it warm up. And then I can screw with the gas pedal. I was thinking I might not have enough time to do that because I don't want to be here all hours today, but it's only 10:16. I forget, when you get up at 5 in the morning like a boomer, you have a lot more time to work during the day. All right, let me get the lift under this and get it up in the air and get those fans finished wired, and then I can turn it on, and I can set my fan turn-on points super low on the handheld just to verify that all that's working, and I got my high and my low speed and all that. It's gonna rain all day today. All right, let's get to it. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Let's first get in front of the camera. I've got the handheld here. I want to make sure both of my relays, I can hear them audibly click for high and low speed, and I want to turn the low speed on so I can see which side is my power and which side is my ground, because the last thing you want is to have that reversed and have a fan that's supposed to be a puller acting as a pusher, and then the other one, that one you can't reverse, so that one will be, you know, a puller, and you'll have a bunch of circulation that's not supposed to be there. So let me turn the radio down first so I don't get flagged. That works. All right, I also have to tie this O2 sensor wire up. Handheld. All right, so we're gonna see, hopefully you can hear this click. Tuning system outputs. So we'll set that to there. We'll set that to there. So I'm setting my turn off to negative temperature right now for both fans, because I'm going to turn my turn on to whatever it is outside right now, 80 degrees. Because that's what the coolant temp should be reading. So let's try, we'll do 70. So I should hear a click when I hit save. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I heard that. All right, so now I'm going to turn my high speed fan trigger number 2 also down. We should hear a second click. That's good. So now I'm going to turn the high speed back off, because like I said, I want to find out which side on my high speed, I mean, what do you call it? Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. I've had a lot of these lately. I want to find out which side is my positive. So see if I can hit the save button without this going haywire again. Unbelievable. Come on. I hit the save button and it's reading like fingerprints all over the place. There we go. Okay. So high speed works. And then there's my ground. Okay. So actually, yeah, so that's high speed. Cool. All right. So now I'm going to back you back up, wire these things up, and make sure everything works. Okay, now that I have verified that, I know my positive from the fan goes to the yellow, and my negative from the fan goes to the blue for my first fan. And the second one, obviously positive red goes to my power. There's just one power, and ground is chassis grounded. Yes, I do know this from looking at the schematics, but no, I did not bring it with me and memorize them, so that's why I just pinned them out manually. Now I can cut these to length, terminate all those, tie them all up, get rid of these old grounds for how they were grounded, and then we will have a high-speed and low-speed fan system. Okay, everything is wired that way and done. Everything is wired that way and done. I just verified, again, that my fans turn on and off like they're supposed to, high-speed, low-speed, according to temperature and whatnot. I started it up. I let it find its idle real quick. It needs to do a bunch of self-learning with the IAC because it hasn't really been started yet. But before I got it all nice and hot, and these headers were impossible to work around, and I would burn every inch of my forearms, I got to do what I don't want to do now, which is figure out this gas pedal deal. So I am going to pull the gas pedal off of the floor and see whether or not the lever is splined and I can move it to a different position. Because if I cannot, like I said earlier, it's getting a stock pedal put back into it. Within the last 5 minutes, the world's horniest cricket has come out of his little hiding spot. Do you hear this little bastard over here? Holy Jesus. He sees me. So I walked over to wash my hands. Where the sill plate basically is for the big door, he hides down in the crack down there. I think, is that him right there? Yep, oh, there he goes. He just went back down. He goes right down here. Hey buddy, shut the hell up. I'm trying to work over here. Can you hear him over there? Holy Christ. So I'm running into an issue with this thing, which is, unfortunately, they use nylon lock nuts, and it's an Allen head on the other side, and I can't exactly rest an Allen wrench in there and be able to turn it from this side, so I might not be able to get this out until the boss man gets here. In the meantime, I'm going to find out what size Allen head it fits, or fits it on the other side, so when he does get here, I can get this thing pulled right out. Alright guys, so the owner stopped by. I shot the shit with him for a while. I took that pedal apart, and the best I can get it to do is 80% throttle pull. Now, the TPS on the Sniper2s go from 0 to 90%. They don't go to 100% like the old Sniper does. So, I mean, right now, we're going to live with that until we get another pedal or figure out something with this. But, man, what a pain in the ass this pedal is. It's no fun to work on. But I did get everything is 100% wired and done. I've already gone through 2 heat cycles, letting it get all the way up to, I've got the fans set to low speed to come on at 195 and off at 190, and high speed to come on at 200 and off at 195. And I've gone through 2 complete cycles. They cool this thing with no problem. The Sniper is running good and doing its thing and running everywhere it should for IAC and all that stuff. Actually, one thing I'm going to do before I leave is I want to check my static timing to make sure the distributor is where we need it to be. So I'm going to grab a timing light and do that next. I don't know if you can hear me, but so we're running, I've got it set to 14. We're just about there. We're bouncing around 14, which is what we're doing here. So I'm going to turn off adaptive idle spark and just set it to be a solid 16 degrees and then measure it. And if my distributor is set correctly, I will get 16 degrees down here. If I don't get 16 degrees down there, I'm going to have to loosen my distributor until I do, and then I know my timing is dead nuts nailed. Alright, so I've got my static set to 16 degrees, and I know you can't see it down there because it's very hidden. I'm at 16 on my gun. I am definitely at 16 on my mark. I'm at 0 degrees there. I've got it 16 advanced on the gun. So perfect. So that is set up perfectly. So we're good with that. Now I'm going to clear out that static timing cleared and close it. Now I can shut this down. We've got one more concern. His radio is not working. Everything else in the interior works but the radio. So I'm going to dig into that real quick and see if I can't figure that out. Whew. Let me tell you, it's been a day already. Got the lights over there now, so that's why it's dark over here. I'm going to work inside. I really just kind of want to go home now and not screw with this radio, but like I said, all my interior lights work, all my directionals, all that crap works, all the gauges work, HVAC works, radio doesn't work. So I'll take a look at that nest under there and see if I can't find something. Found the culprit. Now I just got to look around and see if we have one here. Glass fuses are usually at a premium. All right, radio. Thought I found the culprit. So I found that blown fuse. The fuse down further was not blown. So, and it was a lesser amperage, so I figured if it was going to, one of those 2 fuses were going to blow, it's going to be the lesser amperage one. Put the fuse in, I got no power still. So I check with the power probe, as I did before I replaced the fuse, and now I have no power going to either side of that fuse up higher. So I check the fuse down lower. Oh, that one's blown now. It's a very small fuse, it's a 5 amp, so I replace it with a 10 amp. Immediately blows. So we have a short somewhere in this system, which is going to be a project for another day, because I'm all done today. I got a shit ton of work done. I've got to go back home now because my brother is dropping his dog off because they're going on vacation, and a house with 5 dogs is going to be a handful. My 4 dogs are a handful, so, and they always go ballistic when a new dog comes in the house. And even though they know my brother's dog, because they do hang out from time to time, it's, oh my god, new dog, let's go to town, until Joe yells at us to stop being absolute animals. Yeah, that's the rest of my Saturday. But we took you on this journey. I don't know if you're gonna hear all this fan noise in the background because it got hot as hell in here. We got the Sniper all wired up, awesome. We got the ignition all done, awesome. Got the timing checked on that, awesome. Got the cooling fans done, awesome. Cleaned up my wiring, awesome. Cleaned up my wiring, awesome. Figured out that the radio has a short somewhere, awesome. But I mean, that's not that bad. My plan was to drive this today. I could actually take it out for a drive if I wanted to, but it's also really crappy out right now, so much so that I moved my truck inside, because if it rains hard enough, it floods out in front here, and I don't feel like walking through 3 inches of water to get to my truck. But I think this is the last of the mini projects. We are, yeah, because the El Camino's done. This is going. This is done with the exception of the radio short, which isn't a big thing. I don't have the time to pull it out of the dash today and figure it out. And then we are on to sunshine. So like and subscribe, all that good stuff, because the good stuff, the gooder stuff, is coming up next with that truck. That's about it. I will talk to you guys next week. I don't know what I'll be working on. I'll be working on something. Plus, I'm sure I'll have some cool stuff during the week to show you on a couple of shorts and whatnot. But we'll talk to you guys later. It's Chinese food time.